Good evening, sir. I'm Frank Malloy. I'm Chief of Police for the Chicago Police Department. I've been assigned to investigate the death of Joe Costello, and I was told that you worked for Joe. Your name is Jimmy Henderson, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And what is it that you do or did for Joe in his line of business?
You know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. He never really liked to get his hands dirty, let's just say that. So he would have called on me to get mine dirty, if you know what I'm saying.
So you would have cleaned up messes for Joe without him being implicated. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I suppose that's one way of putting it. Yeah, sure.
And in that line of work that you do, you would have dealt, I'm sure, with a number of people that didn't like Joe.
Just a normal day, every day.
Just a normal day, every day. Joe was found dead in his office. In his hand was a letter. It was anonymous, and it was written on a typewriter. Do you own a typewriter, Mr. Henderson?
I might have one lying around somewhere, but not to my knowledge. No, I have a lot of stuff. No, typewriter, no, doesn't stand out, no.
Okay, and in this letter that was written by somebody who didn't want to sign it, as it were, it sort of alluded to the fact that the person who was writing it knew things that might upset Joe. Would you know things that might upset Joe? Things that he doesn't know?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, he knew a lot of things that could upset Joe, but it was my job to make sure that I knew those things, so Joe didn't know those things, so I could take care of those things before Joe knew about them.
Okay, well, hopefully I was able to follow exactly what you said there. So you knew things that might anger Joe, and you felt like you needed to keep on top of those sort of things so that they wouldn't upset Joe and that you could deal with them. This is what you're telling me.
Now you're getting it, yeah.
Were you happy working for Joe?
Once upon a time, I suppose you could say I was happy, yeah, but then as the workload kind of got more and more, I realized that my wages weren't, my income wasn't as good as it should have been.
So you wanted to get paid more for the work that you were doing?
Absolutely.
And did you ever talk to Joe about this?
Not so much directly. I threw a few hints here and there, but, they went right over his head.
Do you think if you'd ever just come out and asked him for a pay rise, he would have given it to you?
I don't know. I suppose I could have asked, but you need to understand something. Joe took me from nothing. He made me quite wealthy. I'm not a poor guy. What I have, he gave to me. So I think for me to ask for more, he would have thought it to be disrespectful.
And did you ever feel that perhaps you might want to see Joe suffer a little to really truly appreciate the work that you did?
Now, when you say suffer, you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
I suppose what I'm getting at here, Mr. Henderson, is that maybe you are the mastermind behind this whole operation. This whole, not the operation of the business, but the whole death of Joe. I put this to you that you knew things that could upset him. You weren't happy being paid to what you were being paid. You wanted more money. Joe wasn't the sort of guy to give you money without it coming from his own imagination. So you decided that you might hurt him a little. Maybe organize a meeting, let a few home truths out. Would that be close to maybe something that you could have done?
I guess it's something I could have done. I like your theory, but you're forgetting one thing and all of that there. You see, at the end of the day, Inspector, Joe still paid me, okay? Regardless if it was the amount that I wanted or thought that I was entitled to, he still paid me. If Joe wasn't around, then, I wouldn't get paid at all. So you gotta understand something. Keeping Joe around benefits me financially, but for him to be dead, not so much.
What sort of things do you know that would have upset Joe?
How long you got? Well, I know that there were people stealing from him. I know that there were people cheating on him. telling information to people who shouldn't have known that information. Basically, a lot. I could go on and on, but I'll not bore you with specifics.
Joe was poisoned, as I'm sure you've heard by now. You ever used poison to clean up any of Joe's problems?
Poison? Hell no. Straight down the middle. Shoot, stab, strangle. Nah, no poisoning.
Okay. I mean, I have to say, Mr. Henderson, your honesty in front of a cop here is refreshing. Look, I'm going to have to wrap things up here. I got other people to talk to. But if I need to question you further on this matter, I would ask that you remain in the city. If you leave the city without my express permission, then I'm afraid we'll have to bring you downtown. You understand me, Mr. Henderson?
Loud and clear.
Okay. I thank you for your time, and if you remember anything that might be useful to my investigation, please, you know where to find me.
Sure.
Thank you. Good night.
You too.